Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about habits, but I want to talk more specifically about habit stacking. Now, I didn't invent this phrase. I learned it. I was reading a book. Now, I'm going to recommend this book, and I'm going to put a big exclamation point. That's right, 3 exclamation points for this book. This book is a must read. Not kind of, not sort of. Put it to the top of your stack in terms of go get this book. It's called Atomic Habits by Tom Cleary. Atomic Habits by Tom Cleary. This book is so good. It is so good. I read it from cover to cover, and I still wanted more. It's like 260 pages, I think. And I got to the end, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's over. That's how good it is that I'm going to reread it the second time. I was so desperate for more that when I got to the end, I even started reading the end notes, near the appendix, just because I wanted more. This book is awesome. I want you to get it. It is life-changing in the sense that whether it's personal or professional, whether you're a salesperson or not, doesn't matter. This book is going to help you manage your time and manage your habits. This goes beyond your basic, establish good habits and, set goals. It's beyond that. And it's backed by, behavioral science, some psychology, some social science adaptations. But you're going to enjoy this book. And I'm telling you, it is worth every single penny, if not more. So in there, Tom Cleary talks about habit stacking. Now, you'll love the book if you're a fan of Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit. If you read that book, you're really going to love this. This actually, I'll say, piggybacks off that book. The book by Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit. This book piggybacks off and builds on top of that another layer, a structure that you can use for developing great habits. Now, let me give an example of what habit stacking is and how I'm using it, and then maybe it'll give you ideas how you can use it. Now, one of the things I do, one of my habits is to get up early in the morning and read or write. And I do that for 2 hours. For those of you who know a guy by the name of Dan Ariely, he's a neuroscientist, he says that every one of us, and I've talked about this in past podcasts, each of us has 2 golden hours where we're like hyper-focused. You know what I mean? It's like, man, you can just absorb information like a sponge. Your comprehension level is high. It's optimal. So my 2 golden hours are 5:30 to 7:30 in the morning. Now, my son is totally opposite. My son's more like, 2 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock because he likes to stay up late. Find your 2 hours. That said, I like to get up early in the morning, 5:30 to 7:30, do some reading, do some writing. So what I do the night before is I prepare the coffee. So I'll get the water, get the filter, get it all set up. So all I have to do is get up in the morning and hit the button. Now, one of the things that Tom talks about in this book is about when you want to create a habit and you want to get into your habit, try to make it easy. So instead of making the coffee in the morning, because I hate doing that, I love making it the night before, preparing it rather. So when I get up, I just hit the button and I walk to my office. So again, my habit, 5:30 to 7:30, I'm reading and writing. Now, he says, stack your habits. In other words, add things to your current habit. And one of the things I discovered that I could do is while I'm waiting for the coffee to brew, which typically takes about 5 to 7 minutes, what I could do, and I decided I wanted to do this, is to do some stretching. So now I hit the coffee button, walk to my office, and basically for 5 to 7 minutes, I wait to hear the beep in the background. I just do some basic stretching, like call it mini yoga. But, I'm starting out slow here because I'm not into the whole yoga thing yet, and maybe I will be. But I'm using these 5 to 7 minutes just to do basic stretching, knee bends, touch your toes, stretch, the whole bit. And I do that for 5 or 7 minutes. And believe it or not, it really makes me feel good. Kind of works out the kinks from the night before. As soon as I hear that little boop, boop, that means my coffee's ready. I go get the pot and I bring it back to my office. Now, what I've done is After I write now, I decided to stack another habit. This time, now that I'm done, oh, by the way, I should tell you this. This is kind of a secret tip I'm going to give you. While I am reading and writing, in the background, I put on meditation music. I found a 2-hour meditation soundtrack on YouTube. And so what I do is I downloaded the video, and then what I do is I use that 2-hour meditation music. It's kind of soft music in the background while I'm reading and writing. It puts me in that state. I use the same song every time. And when that music is done, I know that my 2 hours are done. I can keep going, but if I feel like keep going, I'll do that. But I typically stop around the 2-hour mark when the music stops. Now, I decided to stack another habit. Now remember, I started out reading 5:30 to 7:30, and I stacked right before that the 5 to 7 minute stretch because it's easy. Now, after I'm done reading, I decided to stack another habit that's easy, and that is to do at least 25 push-ups. I know some of you are thinking, oh, Victor, I can do 100. Well, congratulations. Okay, I'm working towards that. So I can do 25, right? And I'm working towards 40. Here's why. I was reading a study. It was out of the Harvard Business Review did a report on this study, and it was actually published by the Journal of American Medical Association in February 15th of this year. And basically it said the following: 40 push-ups in a given time frame. If you can do 40 push-ups in a given time frame, you were 96% less likely to have cardiovascular disease versus those who could only do 10. Let me say this again because this is important. If you're able to do 40 push-ups and they had a specified time, right? I'm sure it's probably 2 to 5 minutes. You were 96% less likely to have cardiovascular disease versus those who could only do 10. Again, look at JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association, published on February 15, 2019. And when I read that, I go, I think I need to get up to 40 just to make sure that I have a 96% better chance of not having cardiovascular disease. That's why I added that new habit. So now, let's go back to habit stacking. My habit stacking is as follows. Hit the coffee button, do 5 to 7 minutes of stretching. That's part of the routine now. Then I read or write for 2 hours, 5:30 to 7:30. And as soon as I'm done, I drop to the floor and try to do 25. I'm trying to build up to 40. I'll let you know when I get there. And then that's it. That's my morning routine. So that's called habit stacking. When you can kind of layer different things, routines together, and again, make it easy. What makes this easy is that when I hit the coffee button, I can just walk to my office, do the stretching, not a big deal. I'm waiting anyway, might as well do something. Then I put in my 2 hours of reading and writing, and then why not drop and do at least 25, pushing towards 40, and then say, be done. Now, the new habit I'm forming, and I'm just sharing with you, is that I'm going to do the podcast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So from, let's say, 7:30 to 10 a.m., I'm just going to take a break and do other things, relax a little bit, whatever it may be, maybe check emails, answer phone calls, whatever. But now my new habit is I'm going to start doing all my podcasts between 10 and 11. That's going to be the new habit. And I'm sure I'm going to stack some other habits on top of that. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because in selling, we need to create habits, and maybe using this method of stacking habits that kind of can run together might be something that can help you sell more effectively, or at a minimum, help you manage your time more effectively so you can sell more. And that is it for this Sales Influence podcast. Again, the name of the book, Atomic Habit, Tom Cleary, Go Get It, Worth the Money. Don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think, especially on this topic. Would love to hear from you. Also, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. You know where it's at, salesvelocityacademy.com. Over 40 courses. We keep adding something every month. Over 400 videos. If you want to increase your sales velocity, go to salesvelocityacademy.com. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.